Jim Crow, the black family was together.
That's right.
During Jim Crow, more black people were not just conservative, because black people always have been conservative-minded, but more black people voted conservatively. And then H.E.W., Lyndon Johnson, and then you go
Mr. Speaker, it has come to my attention that a so-called leader has made the factually inaccurate statement that black folks were better off during Jim Crow. That's an outlandish, outrageous, and out-of-pocket observation. We were not better off when a young boy named Emmett Till could be brutally murdered without consequence because of Jim Crow. We were not better off when black women could be sexually assaulted without consequence because of Jim Crow. We were not better off when people could be systematically lynched without consequence because of Jim Crow. We were not better off when children could be denied a high-quality education without consequence because of Jim Crow. We were not better off when people could be denied the right to vote without consequence.
Even means some of our skinfolk who definitely are not our kinfolk, such as Byron Donalds, who are going to continue to say that, like, I mean, the fact that you sitting around talking about life was better under Jim Crow, like, is this because you don't understand history? Or literally it's because you married a white woman and so you think that that whitewashed you?
Good morning, YouTube, and happy Tuesday. Okay, so let's have a conversation regarding Jasmine Crockett and Byron Donalds. So Jasmine Crockett was on The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club is a huge, huge radio station. They're syndicated in like all the markets. They're huge. They're big in the black community. I've been watching The Breakfast Club since as long as I can remember. Probably 10 plus years. I don't watch them as much. I watch them sporadically, but when I'm in the car, when I'm driving or whatever, I listen to The Breakfast Club. And apparently Jasmine Crockett was on The Breakfast Club and they were talking about Byron Donalds. And basically what she said, and I believe wholeheartedly that people took her words out of context, because that's what people like to do. They like to antagonize black women. They like to take our words out of context. So what Jasmine Crockett was basically saying is, why do Byron Donalds feel so removed or excluded or absolved of the traumas that black people face, the discrimination, the oppression, all of the things that we have to endure and face in this country? And she was basically saying, why do you feel so removed? Is it basically because you have been whitewashed? Now, Byron Donalds does have a white wife. I don't believe at all that Jasmine Crockett was trying to be antagonistic or disrespectful towards his wife. And it's not even necessarily about disrespecting her. I don't think Jasmine Crockett was talking about her at all. She was basically discrediting Byron Donalds, as he should be, because he's so antagonistic towards black people. He says really abhorrent, ridiculous, crazy things. Like he basically said that black people were like doing better under Jim Crow. He says all of these very controversial things, and it's very antagonistic to black people. And so it's like, she was basically saying, why do you feel absolved? Like, why do you feel as if you're not connected, or you wouldn't have to adhere to, or you wouldn't endure the same traumas and pains and repercussions that we do living in this country because of discrimination, oppression, racism, all of the things. And so people ran with the narrative where she was talking about his wife. And I think Byron Donalds was like, this has nothing to do with my wife. She wasn't talking about your wife, sweetie. She was talking about you. She was talking about your lack of community with black people. She was talking about the fact that you do not represent us correctly, because I ain't going to even call that man out his name, but we all know what he is, who he is, and how he operates and how he navigates through this country. And so I don't like it. I don't like the narrative, and I resent the narrative immensely. Antagonizing black women and always thinking black women are trying to, we have an issue. I think there's a huge, I think it's a huge misconception that black women care at all about black men dating outside their race. Now, this is we need to break this conversation down, because I wanted to show you guys some clips, and I'm going to show you guys clips throughout the video of why I believe that the public, like took this narrative and ran with it that Jasmine Crockett somehow was being antagonistic towards his wife, and it had nothing to do with his wife. It had to do with his behavior. It had to do with the fact that he does not represent us, and he somehow feel removed as if he's not a black man in this country. And the one thing America is always going to do, it's always going to remind you that you're black. I don't care what position you get. I don't care how much money you have. You're going to be reminded that you're black. And Byron Donalds, he's going to have his day where he's reminded that people think of you just the way they think of me. You can think that you're in these circles and you're a part of their circles and you're with the good old boys, but you will be reminded that you're black. And that's what Jasmine Crockett was talking about. She wasn't talking about his wife. I'm pretty sure she does not care at all about his wife. She was saying the reason he run around saying these very antagonistic, disingenuous things about, like, I almost cursed. The reason he does these things is because he feels like, oh, I'm with the, like, I'm in the in crowd. I'm with them. I've been accepted. I'm one of them. And that's the reason why he could go around saying idiotic things like things were better for black people under Jim Crow. So she was basically saying, why do you think you absolved of all the things that black people endure? Like, what have you been whitewashed? She wasn't talking about his wife. So I want to show you a clip of, it's the actor that played Notorious B.I.G. And this is an example. This is just one example, because I'm also going to show you the clip of Byron Donald basically saying that black people was better, or we done well, or whatever the case under Jim Crow, which was so offensive and disturbing to me. And this is what Jasmine was talking about. And so I want to first show you guys the clip of the actor saying what he said, and then we'll have a conversation about it on the other side. Take a look at this.
They're mad at me for dating outside my race. But I was dating outside of my race because they was doing things better than my race. I'm gonna keep it 100.
Define better. Define better.
Well, not better, because I know where she getting ready to go. Not better.
I know, you said they were doing things better. I wanted to know what better meant.
Not better. I'm gonna change that.
I'm trying to save you for the
I know
people,
you is.
for
That's
the
what I'm
culture.
saying. Not better for the culture.
There we go.
Right, not better. I was dating Puerto Rican, I was dating Dominican, I was dating African, I was dating all type of other really size American black, right? They were doing way more of what we expect we want our woman to do more than our American. Our American got real comfortable with...
Give me some examples.
Oh, man. I mean, their mannerisms are different. Like, even my Indian one was from one of them countries over there, right? I didn't have to really say much to do and be treated like a king. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times with our own American black, they expect so much of us and what we're supposed to do. Like things like if we go out and eat and we just have a nice dinner, we can go anywhere and eat and get a nice dinner. It had to be Rue Chris, or it had to be this, that, or it had to be this, that. Then I get somebody that's just as fine, a Cuban or a Colombian. They don't care about nothing. They care about you and your household, even though they still care about the money, but it's not about the money. You understand what I'm trying to say? It's a difference. Not better, but sometimes we get tired of hearing, Birkin bags, sushi.
Do you think that's fair? Because I feel like there's a certain type of woman that does demand that. And to me, I think it depends on the bait you're using and where you're looking. If you're gonna go get a model from Instagram that got the BBL, the snatched in stomach, and has all the things that check off money hungry and surface, you're gonna get that. If you're gonna meet a girl...
You guys just seen that clip. So he is the actor that played Biggie Smalls in the Notorious B.I.G. movie. Now, this man could have said, I have a preference. I date these kind of women. That's your business. Nobody cares. The issue that black women have is when men say things like this, I don't date black women because X, Y, and Z. That's not necessary. That's antagonistic. If you have a preference, have your preference. God bless your testimony. Nobody cares. I've never, ever, as a black woman who loves black women, who's around black women every day, I've never had a conversation with a black woman being concerned or being angry about a black man dating outside his race. That is not conversations that we have. That is huge. Like, that is a misconception, and it's something that's put on us that I resent immensely. I really do, because we don't have those conversations. Like, girl, can't you believe he's dating X, Y, Z? We don't care, because I'm gonna gag you. A lot of us don't want the ones that date outside their race anyway, because some of them are self-hating Negro. You know what? We don't want you anyway, baby. Go. So when this guy said, listen to what he said. He said, when I date outside of my race, I can get treated like a king for nothing. So you don't want to assume responsibilities. You don't want to be faithful. You don't want to be committed. You don't want to do all the things that's required in a relationship. You want to be treated like royalty and to be treated like a king just because you have a penis. That's what it is. And that's not going to be tolerated. And I'm not like, if you can find another woman who's willing to bow down and kiss your feet and treat you like a king just because you have male parts, then sweetheart, go. Because the friend circle that I have, my mother, my aunts, the older women that I'm around have no issues with being good to a man. They are phenomenal women. Educated women, hardworking women, women who have done a lot in their lives. And they have absolutely no problem with being good women, because they are good women, but they have no problem being good women to good men. But to assume that a woman is just supposed to bow down to you because you have male parts is idiotic, and it's not going to happen. Another thing that happens is this guy went on to talk about black women want money, and they want you to buy them this and this and this. Sweetheart, that's the matter. That's who you've decided to chase, and that's who you've decided to date. See, this is what I believe happened with this guy. So he played on the Notorious B.I.G. He became a celebrity, and he wanted to chase the Instagram models. He wanted to chase the girl with the BBL and the 30-inch bust down with the Chanel bag. So because that's what you wanted, that's what she requires. If you would have went and found you a woman who was educated, well, not even educated, but a hardworking woman who had morals and values, who loved God, you would have had different experiences. But you wanted to attract a certain woman, you wanted to date a certain woman, so those were her requirements. And I tell people all the time, yes, women are expensive. All women are expensive. You should date the one that you can afford. And I don't mean that in this kind of trivial, you have to buy a woman. No, women, I have a certain lifestyle. I've worked very hard to maintain a certain lifestyle. So if I were to date a man, I am dating, but when I settle down with a man, he would have to accommodate my lifestyle just as I would accommodate his lifestyle, because that's how it works. So it's not a matter of when you get with a woman, she's going to require you to buy her all these fancy things. No, this guy, the actor that played Biggie Smalls, he was chasing Instagram models. So you went on their page, you seen what they were about, you seen what they wanted, and that's what they required from you. And then you want to categorize it and look at it like this is what all black women. No, black women are not monolithic. We are not. So if you attract and you find someone who has your same values, who has your same moralities, who wants the same things out of life, then you'll have different outcomes. But he became a celebrity. He blew up overnight, apparently. And now you want to chase the Instagram models, and you mad that the Instagram model that you went after because she had a nice body, because she had a 30-inch bust down, because she had a Chanel bag, that's why you went after her. And so that's what she's going to require from you. How is this not simple to you? This is very simple. So now you want to group all women into that category, and that's not the truth. So I find that men, when they say I date white women or whomever, Hispanic women, whatever you choose, that's your choice. I literally do not care. But to find value in being antagonistic to black women because of your preference, that's our issue. Leave us out of it. Just somebody ask you, oh, you have a Hispanic wife, white, whatever, whoever you have, and yeah, because I don't date black women. Not necessary. Leave us out of it. Why do you feel the need to antagonize us in your statement? Leave us completely out of it. You can date whomever you like. You can have a preference for whoever you like. No one cares. The only time it becomes problematic when you find it necessary to antagonize us while it's talking about your preference. And I think people don't understand that. Black women, we be over here minding our business, drinking our water. We don't be bothering y'all. So the fact that you find value in saying, yeah, because I don't date black women because, that wasn't necessary. And you're being antagonistic, and then when a black woman be antagonistic is, oh, she's angry, and all of these other stereotypic idiotic things that you like to say when you've injected our name in your conversation. Because you could have just said, I prefer this woman. Okay. But yeah, because I don't date black women. No, don't do that. Don't do that. So that was the issue that I had with the narrative around the Jasmine Crockett and Byron Donalds conversation. That was the issue that I had with the actor that played Notorious B.I.G. People like to antagonize black women. That is the truth of the matter. They like to antagonize black women, so it's a matter of she was talking about his wife. Jasmine was not talking about his wife. She was basically calling him a sellout. She was basically calling him a coon. She was talking about him. She was talking about, why do you feel so removed and absolved of the things that black people endure? Do you believe because you are in these circles? Do you believe because you have like a white wife, not being antagonistic towards the wife, but are these the reasons you feel absolved of the issues and the discrepancies and the discrimination that black women, black people in general have to face and have to endure? Why do you feel that you're different? And that's the reason why she used the term whitewashed. She wasn't talking about his white wife. I don't understand why people like to take things out of context, and I believe it's to antagonize black women. So what y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna leave Jasmine alone. That's what y'all gonna do. Because she wasn't talking about his wife. She was not talking about his wife. So she was talking about him, and she should talk about him because he's bad for us. I'm gonna just leave it there. His rhetoric, his narratives, what he tries to push, the comment he made about Jim Crow, the other comments that he made regarding he called Donald Trump daddy. This is the guy we're talking about. So he should be antagonized. He deserved to be antagonized. And so what she said, I believe it. Like, I agree with it. But this narrative that everybody's pushing is that she was talking about his wife. She was not. She was not talking about his wife. And I think the reason that people picked that narrative up and ran with it is because it's this huge misconception that black women have an issue with black men dating outside their race. I do not. The women that I'm around, the older women that I'm around, the women my age that I'm around, my younger cousins, I've never had a conversation with a black woman who had an issue with a black man dating outside his race. It becomes an issue when people feel the need to antagonize black women in the process. That is the issue. Have your preference, date who you want to date. But when you think you're gonna, and this is the reason why I don't date black women, why is that necessary? Why is being pessimistic or antagonistic towards black women necessary in your process? Just say, I have this preference. And so the reason, like I said before, the reason people ran with that narrative, because it's so easy to run with the narrative that Jasmine Crockett was talking about his wife, because there's already this huge misconception that black women have a problem with black men dating outside of their race. On a larger scale, we do not. I'm sure there are some black women out there that have a problem with it, but on a grand scheme of things, majority of us do not care at all. So I need that narrative to stop. So that was what I wanted to say regarding that issue. I'm going to insert the clips to show you guys examples of black women being antagonized, examples of Byron Donalds saying ridiculous things And the reason that Jasmine Crockett basically said he believes, or she believes, he thinks that he's whitewashed, I'm going to show you those clips and the reason she said what she said. But this narrative about black women being so upset about black men dating outside of their race, I wish it stopped, because it's not true. I'm a black woman. I'm around black women every day, all day. That is not a conversation we have. We do not care. Just leave us out of it. That's it. That's all we're asking. Don't antagonize us in the process. Date whoever you want. Have a preference for whomever you want. Just leave us out of it. That's it. So that was my commentary. And I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, like, comment, and subscribe. I am so bad at that.